cheap $20 roller from Amazon and thought it was perfectly great. And then there's this roller that I have multiple of in the studio from Balance Body, and this is like a $40 roller, and I also think this one is great. So kind of depends on how much you want to spend. So if you've got a roller and you feel like rolling right now is what you need, great. If not, we're going to roll our feet out with our ball because we're going to stick with making sure we're taking good care of our feet today. And I am going to tell you something about, we're kind of advancing in the footwork world. And that is to say that, yes, the bottom of our feet absolutely need a little attention every day. They need to strengthen and they need to move and articulate. That's super important. But the tops of our feet can get really tight. And when they get really tight, they can make our gait just a little less smooth, right? So for a lot of people, I find that the tops of their feet up into the front of their ankle can be so tight. And if that's the case for you, it's something you're going to want to work on a little bit, just gently. It's not one of those things where you want to like really get in there and stretch it really deeply the first time you try it. And for some people, the first time they go into a stretch over the foot, they get a cramp because they're so not used to that, right? And if that's the case, then that means you need to do it more regularly. Yeah, so make sure we get both feet rolled out, bringing all that energy down into our feet, all the way out to the toes. If you haven't tried different techniques for rolling, like for instance, a little rubber ball or a ball with those little spikes on it, try different things because you're going to find that they all give you a different effect and they're all so good in different ways. I have like a whole box of different little balls that are good in different ways. Okay, so now to go over the foot, we're just going to bring it behind us. Go right up on the top of your foot there and gently stretch, very gently. And if it doesn't feel great, then just come out of it for a moment and try it again. And we're not going to spend a ton of time here. We're not going to stretch. We're not going to overstretch. We're just going to breathe into it and just notice if there's any tightness there. And then let's go to the other side. Very gently. Good. Breathe into that. And maybe rock a little bit to one side or the other side to see if there's a little more tightness. Good. And then release that. Just notice how good your feet feel. And then we're going to do a balance challenge here right off the bat. Let's go arms out. Draw the navel up and in. Extend one leg out in front of you. And let's flex and point. So we're working both feet right now. We're working the foot that we're standing on, the proprioception here, the ankle strength, all of that is happening. And then we're working that lifted foot by really articulating through it. Reach those arms long. Good. If you're not feeling up to balance first thing in the morning, sitting on a chair and just working the feet will be absolutely fine too. We're reaching those arms with lots of energy. We're pulling up and in through our corset. Good. And then let's sickle that foot. So sickling, I don't know if you can see my foot very well. I'm sickling, that means I'm tucking my toes under like a claw. Good. So that's your sickle. Hold there. Good. I know that feels awkward and weird, but it's really good for you. And then flex, point, sickle. Flex, point, sickle. 4 more. Flex, point, sickle. 3. Flex, point, sickle. 2. Flex, point, sickle. Last 1. Good. And now you've just warmed up your hip flexor a little bit. Let's just take it back. Reach up. Big stretch there. Reach to the sky. Soften the shoulders down the back. And release. And let's go to the other side. So to the other side, find your tree image in your mind. So you've got roots down, branches up and out. Find your balance and flex and good. And the sort of secret that it took me forever to learn about balance is that if this hip lifts up at all, it's going to throw you that way, right? So drop that hip into alignment. That's really key. Sometimes it helps to think like you're holding something between your legs. Good. Let's go. 4. Really work those feet. 3, 2, 1. Soften those shoulders. Add the sickle. Whew. Now, I will point out that balancing on a squishy mat is way harder than balancing on a hard floor. So if you're really challenged and you're on a squishy mat and you want to step off, go ahead, hold that sickle, and now we'll add the flex. Point, sickle, flex, point, sickle. Soft shoulders, growing taller. Tree image in your mind all the time. 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it back. All right, warmed up that hip, the front of that hip, big stretch, reach up, sink into it, lift up out of it, equal but opposite all the time, and release. Give me a couple shoulder rolls and then meet me on the mat and gather all your gear if you haven't had a chance. Also, if you haven't had a chance to mute, you can do that before you come on down to the mat. And we're going to get into a little bit deeper understanding this morning of how our breath can help us in Pilates. And so let's have a lie down here, and we're going to do some rib cage breathing. So I left my phone over there. Rib cage breathing means breathing into your ribs as opposed to a deep belly breath. And it's such a good technique to have down because when we want to work our core, we want it to be connected, right? And not moving in and out with a big breath. So in order to keep breathing while keeping our core connected, the breath has to go somewhere. So it's going to go into our rib cage. So first is lying in neutral. Bring your hands onto the ribs right here in the front. Soften your shoulders, relax your neck, and just breathe into your hands a few times. And let the whole breath move through your body, in all the way, out all the way. And so you'll notice your breath is coming into the hands and that the ribs move forward, and that's for most people really an obvious sensation. And then I want you to cross your hands over like you're just hugging your ribs so that you feel the outside of your rib cage, and now breathe into those hands there. Notice all that movement to the sides, like gills. I always feel like these are my gills right here. Okay, now bring your hands back on top, and you're going to stack your hands and gentle pressure down, sending the ribs down just very lightly so that they don't lift up as much. Then the breath will go to the back. So we want to feel the breath in the back of our rib cage. And feeling that, notice you've got all this space in your back that you might not have been using previously. And that's such important breath space. Sometimes you might hear me say, breathe into your back space. That's what I'm talking about right there, is breathing into your back. Now I want you to imagine your rib cage is like a balloon. And just like when you blow up a balloon, you blow up the whole balloon simultaneously in all directions. So now breathe into your rib cage like a balloon, expanding front, side, back. Good, and then let the diaphragm become part of that as well. So the diaphragm pushes down into the belly when it fills. So as you inhale, feel like that balloon pressing down. Okay, now here comes the extra added piece that makes it that much more intense. You're going to tighten up your corset. You want to bring your hands to your core and feel like you're literally tightening a corset. And that corset is going to draw in and up, and we're going to keep it on and tight. So keep that corset tight in your mind, and then go back to that big balloon breath without letting the corset release. Give me a couple more, keeping a nice tight corset, feeling how that then creates even more breath expansion into the rib cage, front, side, back, diaphragm. And when we tighten up our corset, our diaphragm doesn't move as big as it might if we were doing a big belly breath, of course, but it's still there and moving, right? It's still active. Give me one more there. Excellent. Okay, so that was your deep rib cage breathing technique. You can call on that throughout class today when it occurs to you or if I bring it up. But it's just something that you might need to marinate on a little bit as well. Okay, we're going to move on to imprint and release. And the imprint and the release we've talked about already a few times this week. The idea is that we're really stretching that low back out and then dropping the tailbone, getting the full range of motion available to you in that pelvic motion, right? So we're moving from our pelvis. Now, there are a couple different ways we can approach this idea. So today we're going to learn another one. And the other one is about going deeper and therefore moving with much less range of motion, but a deeper sensation for your deep transverse abdominis. So come to neutral. You've practiced the biggest range of motion. Now you're going to practice the deepest contraction. So this is your deep transverse abdominis connection. And I want you to start from engaging the pelvic floor. Feel that zipping up and in. Feel the navel drawing to the spine. And then draw the navel to the spine so deeply that you feel yourself pulling into a little imprint. And then release. And then start fresh. Pelvic floor to that deep transverse abdominis. Feel the navel pulling to the spine. And then up, up, up to the rib cage. And then release. Good. Now this is so deep and so internal. Keep going there. I'm just going to take a look around at everybody. That it might not look like anything. So you don't even need to look at me to find this one. You actually probably want to close your eyes and go deeper into your own body to notice what that feels like to release the pelvic floor and the core and then engage the pelvic floor, engage the deep core. Feel the navel pulling in and up and then feel that drawing your pelvis into an imprint. And then release it. And no, it's not going to be a big imprint. The only way we really get the big imprint is by using our legs a little bit, our glutes, right? We like have to recruit more muscles to get that really big range of motion. But you're going to keep your glutes soft, your legs relaxed, so that you can really zone in on that deep transverse abdominis. And it is a very long muscle. It lives very close to your spine. It connects all the way down to the pelvic floor and up to the diaphragm. So it is the longest layer and hopefully the strongest layer if we're doing this right. Good. And if not yet, eventually. Stick with me, right? And then we will get there. Okay, so finding that connection to that really deep part of your core is so key to what we're doing here. So with all of that marinating, let's move on to some bigger ranges of motion. So a nice neutral spine. Let's walk your feet out a little bit. We're going to keep our head down and our hands on the front of our pelvis. We're going to stay in a neutral spine, but we're going to find that deep core connection. We're going to tighten that core set, and we're going to breathe into our rib cage as we lift one knee up to tabletop. And we're going to switch, tapping the toes. Keep that breath flowing. Inhaling and exhaling, keeping our pelvis oh so stable. Keeping our shoulders nice and soft. Dropping that rib cage down. If you're a rib cage flarer, like I tend to be, then maybe putting the hands on the ribs would be helpful. If your neck is taking on too much of this and you feel it in your low back or your neck, but not enough in your core, then you can absolutely put something behind your head to help you support getting deeper into that core, right? So we have a lot of ways to modify in Pilates, not because we need a cheat, but because everybody's body is a little different. Keep that breath flowing, listen to your body, and take the modifications that make sense to you, that help you go deeper. Let's go 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Pull both knees in, take a little break, rock side to side. We're going to keep one knee in here, and we're going to extend the other leg long. Now, you can be really simple about this and just hold both hands over the knee, or you can take your outside arm longer and your inside arm across to the kneecap. Let's curl up and change. Curl and change. Good. If you like that extra work of reaching that arm longer, then reach it out like you're reaching as you curl up. And you're going to feel just a little bit more potentially of that core work. Keep curling, keep breathing. 6 and 5, 4 and 3, 2 and 1, and rest. Well done. Okay, we're gonna take our hands behind our head. We're gonna curl up and hold. We're gonna take one knee to tabletop and then the other. Now, on your exhales, you're gonna go so deep into your core that it lifts you just a little higher. And inhales drop you down about an inch. Exhale pulls you so deep into your core that you'll lift a little higher. Inhale drops you down an inch, right? So that is how small the range of motion is, but it goes deep. And the idea is to keep that core set tight, breathing into the rib cage, deep exhales, little micro lifts for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Rest there. Ooh, let's bring our feet down and wide. We're gonna put our right hand behind our head and our left arm out to the side. And we're gonna lengthen our spine to just peel ourselves up to one side and then back down, and set yourself down slowly. And then peel and down. Exhale as you peel and release as you inhale. Now we're resting our head into our hand as much as possible. And the idea here is that we're bringing our opposite rib to our opposite hip bone. 2 more. And 1 more. And switch to the other side. Feel those obliques working deep, and we curl. And set yourself down slowly. And curl. Now check in with your pelvis that it's not rocking to one side to make life easier for you, but keep your pelvis absolutely stable. Make that head heavy. Exhale with each curl. Last 2. Last 1. And rest there for a moment. So we're gonna go left leg to the sky, up to a tabletop, and then we're curling up to that left leg. So you're lifting just a bit higher for just 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Now stay here, extend both arms, and frame that leg, pulse up for 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Woo. To the other side, take the opposite knee up, support your head, 4 times we curl, supported, 4, and slowly set it down, 3, coming down should be just as important as coming up, 2, last 1, and now reach both arms, curl up, frame that leg, and just pulse, 4, 3, 2, 1, woo, and down, big stretch. Big reach there, deep inhale, deep exhale. And we're gonna take our ball again. And you're gonna put your ball between your knees. You're gonna roll like a ball to come up. And you're gonna put the ball behind your shoulder blades. And you're gonna roll back over that ball. Big stretch there. Big deep breath. Now let's take your feet a little wider. Reach your arms long. And like you're stretching to reach with one arm for something way back behind you, I want you to reach one arm, let your body twist slightly, and then reach to the other arm, let your body twist slightly. Good, that should feel really good all through the side of the body, all through the back. Breathing deep, 4, and 3, let your head go with it, 2, and 1, and back to center. Let's reach those arms long and strong. On your next exhale, you're rounding up. Big breath. And exhale, take your time. Press back into the ball. How slow can you go? Open up your low back and dive forward. Hang out there for just a moment. Big breath. And then tuck and scoop and round down. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Draw the tailbone under. Scoop the belly deep. Go all the way back to lay back. Big breath there. And then on the exhale, the arms move. The chin tucks. The rib cage rounds forward. Try to lengthen as you round. So we're lifting up out of our pelvis as we round forward. Beautiful big stretch. And then round back. Keep that head heavy. Tucking, scooping, rounding slowly down. Awesome. Big stretch. Big breath. And again, arms, chin, articulate through each vertebra. And stretch forward. Hang out here for a moment. Let your body get a little heavier. Breathe into it. Let your head become a little heavier. And then just let things soften. Give it one more breath. Rounding up from there, articulating through the spine to sit nice and tall. Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and take this ball to the side, and we're going to bend one leg in front, one leg behind, and drop that hip. We're rolling out and over, big side stretch. And then restack your spine one vertebra at a time. Good. So our spine has that beautiful articulation in more directions than one, right? So we can articulate here to the side, just like we did in that roll up. Good. Big breath, last one here. Always thinking up, up, up and away. And all the way up. Take your back leg around to the front. If you want to just sit here, drawing the knee towards you, the key here is that this hip is on the mat. And this is a great place to be. You can also add a gentle twist if you prefer, or you can go forward with me, diving over those legs in your pretzel position, sinking into the hips, dropping the head and breathing deeply. Wherever you are, give it one more big breath. Roll up from there and take it to the opposite side. Switch everything to the opposite side, sink into those hips. And hand over the ball. So start seated nice and tall, and then reach over, up, up, up and over. Big breath. And press down to the left. And again, lengthen to go over, articulating through our spine. Notice that shoulder underneath you, keeping it in its proper alignment so that we get some serratus work there. So that serratus under the armpit is so important. We need to work that gently every day. Make sure that it's turning on when we need it so that our upper tracts aren't having to do so much extra work. Last one. Big stretch. Drop that opposite hip down, feel the opposition of the stretch. And then down to come up. Beautiful. Big stretch over. Reach away. Breathe into it, sink into it, but also lift up out of it. There we go. Let's take that back leg around to the front. Drop that hip. Again, you can choose to sit, just drawing this knee towards you. That's a really good stretch. You can go into a gentle twist. Also a great stretch. Or you can take those knees, stack them a little bit, and round forward, letting the body weight help you find that stretch. Wherever you are, I want you to soften the shoulders, the face, the neck a little bit more, and then release in the hips a little bit more. But one more breath. And round up from there. Excellent. So this is a good one for our shoulders. I want you to take your hands back behind you and then bend your elbows and sink back and just feel, this can feel like different things for different people, but you can feel a really nice stretch in the shoulders and the neck. Also maybe the low back. I feel my low back release when I do this. Breathe into that. Deep inhales. Deep exhales. One more breath there. And then come on up. Let's take our legs out in front of us. Reach your hands together behind you. If that's not possible, grab your, it could be your band or your strap, something that helps you. Take those hands behind you and then just lean forward and lift up any amount. You could also do this with your legs crisscross like so. For some people that feels a lot better. So take the one that feels good to you. And we're just reaching and breathing. Again, you can hold on to something there or just have your hands grasping together behind you. One more breath. Let's come on up from there and roll those shoulders. That is such a powerful stretch, and we can do that anytime, anywhere. Okay, now that our shoulders are feeling really nice, let's grab this guy and let's stand up. So find your standing position and your long band. Now, if you do not have a long band, you could use weights. And we're going to take this and put it under our foot. Let's put one foot in front and one foot behind. Now, you can stay standing up nice and tall, or you can bend those knees for extra work. If you're bending the knees, you're going to want to grip a little lower on your band. Soften your shoulders, pull the belly up and in, and we're going to bicep curl, slow release. I'm going to move towards you, bicep curl, and slow release. Good, so I've got that under my foot in case you didn't see where I put that. And we're slowly curling, slowly releasing. Now, if you want a little bit more, dip down as you go into your bicep curl. Good. And we're here for 4. Excellent. And 3. And 2. And 1. And now we're going to stay here. You can either release the arms or keep that curl and pulse. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Stand up and switch feet. Go. Let's go this way. And step back. Good. And you can stay up and bicep curl. You can sink down into it and bicep curl. You can decide how much tension you have on this band by going lighter or stronger. Good. And you can sink deeper for more. Excellent. Take good care of those knees, and then we can go down and up if you like. Good. So you've got all kinds of options. Soft shoulders. Corset is lifting in and up. No tension in our face, neck, or upper tracts. Excellent. Let's go 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Now you can stay there with that bicep curl or release. We're going to pulse. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. And up. Whew. Good. Let's shake that out a bit. Okay. So now we're going to step on this, and it's great to see if you can make it kind of like a jump rope where you have the 2 ends together at first, so you see that you're in the middle, and then step to the middle. And then you're going to just reach those arms up. Now, depending on how long your band is, how long your band is, or how short you are. Because I like to point this out. I'm quite short, and so my band looks super long. It's just because I'm short. But hopefully you've got a nice long one, and you can make a nice range of motion here. It doesn't have to be all the way up. It could even just be here if that feels better to you. But I want you to breathe with it. So if you can go up with that breath and down. Inhale, lift any amount. Exhale, down. And we're going with control in both directions. So we're not just thinking about the work being on the lift, but there's so much great work to be had on the lower. Last one. And down, roll those shoulders back and down. Excellent. Okay, now for this one, I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see me, but you're probably gonna wanna choke up on this one. So just rounding your hands in 1 or 2 times, and then you're gonna sink down into a squat here. And so a proper squat is just about hip distance with a slight turn out, okay? And then with that, you're gonna squat down, pull your belly up, and pulse out and up. Good, really reach your arms long. So we want our shoulders drawing down our back. Good, if you wanna sink deeper, you're welcome to. Good, if you want a little bit more, you can pulse down and up at the same time. Good. Soft shoulders, long spine, corset wrapping, and we're here 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Stand up, roll those shoulders back. Excellent. Let's step out of that. And we're going to go right in front of your hips, and it's a pretty good tight grip here. And you're just standing as tall as a tree, shoulders down, corset up, and you're just pressing back and release. Now the key here is that our shoulder blades are drawing together. So it's all about those shoulder blades. Good. And we've got strong legs, strong core, strong long spine. Let's go 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Now loosen the grip just a teeny bit. Turn your thumbs forward, press back to stay back there. Really lengthen through the crown of the head. Retract the chin and circle back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Change directions for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Take this behind you, right beneath the bum, palms forward. So very similar to what we were doing a moment ago. But we're going the opposite direction. Pull the belly up and in. And there's a loud drill going on behind that wall. I don't know if you all can hear that. The sound of progress. Music to my ears, in a way. Palms forward. Soft shoulders. Good. Draw the navel in and up. Excellent. Let's go 4. Slow on the release. 3, 2, 1. And now stay there and circle forward. 8, 7, 6. Keep the ribs connected. 5, 4, 3, 2. Change directions. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, release there. Last but not least, we're going to go into another lunge if you like. So now our thumbs are up and our hands are right in front of us. And we're going to sink down, press out to come up. Sink down, press out to come up. And we're looking for 90 in both knees if possible. So we don't want our forward knee to come out over our toes. Good. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, 1. And change. Step back. Good. Sink down into it as you press out. Good. If balance is a big challenge for you in this scenario, I don't know if you just saw what I did, but I walked this foot out a little bit so I have a wider stance. So if necessary, go ahead and do that. Nice soft shoulders. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, soft shoulders, 1, and release. Ooh, okay, this is one of my favorite stretches. So you're gonna be about that tight grip-wise. You're gonna step on this. Hold it in your hands as you stand up, so it's pulling your arms down, and then gently tilt to one side. Ooh, big breath there. Feel really good on your neck and your shoulder. And then come on up and go to the other side. Big breath. Nice stretch. Excellent. Back to the center. Let's roll all the way down. Heel yourself down towards the ground and just hang there for a moment. Big breath. Let your head be heavy. Shake your head out. Big breath there. Soften your knees. Take that band out from underneath you and roll up slowly, articulating through your spine, one vertebra at a time. Excellent. Okay, we're going to grab this and we're coming back down to the floor. Okay, so you're going to put this around your knees and you're going to lie down on one side. And once you're down there, you're going to go knees forward. So we want a 90-degree angle approximately here. We're supporting our head with our arm, but we don't want to be up like that, if we can help it. And then we're tightening our corset, squaring our hips. Good. And then we're going to do a clam here today. So you're going to keep your heels together, and you're just going to slow open and slow close. If you feel like you need to lift your heels for this, go ahead. So this is a different variation of the clam than we often do, but it's boost camp, so we get to try new things, which is fun. Let's do 4 more. Slow on the return. 3, 2, 1, and then drop the feet down. And now, like a hinge, you're just lifting that leg down and up. and the knee and the ankle and the foot are all in alignment with one another, and we're very parallel. So in other words, we don't want our foot to drop lower than our knee, because then we would be in a turnout. If anything, maybe the foot's a little higher than the knee. Last one. Good. And then you're going to go ahead and lift it. Keep it lifted. Keep those tail feathers out behind you and circle up for 6, 5, 4. Breathing. 3, 2, 1. Let's rest for a moment because that is so hard. We're going to go to the other side next. Lift that leg and circle. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. And rest. Take those legs back into alignment with the rest of the body. Bring yourself up onto your forearm with your elbow underneath your shoulder. Super important that it's not outside of your shoulder, but underneath it. And then lift to levitate. So we're levitating our body off of the mat, but we're also levitating our shoulder out of our shoulder socket if we could, right? And we're going to hold and breathe there. Press your forearm down to tighten that serratus a little bit more. And hold or add the pulse. Pulsing up for 8, 7, 6, 5. Motivate from that muscle. 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Let's switch to the opposite side. Good. It doesn't take much. It just takes consistency with building muscles like that, those supportive muscles, such as glute med, serratus. For some reason, it's always the side muscles, it seems, the side of our body. But just little things done like that regularly. So let's go to our clam here. If your heels were lifted before, lift them again. And I just want to point out that you may or may not have noticed this already feels fatigued, because when it was this one down here on the bottom just a moment ago, it was working really hard to keep you stabilized. So it's going to feel fatigued already. Keep breathing. Good. Find your length. And you might not get as many out of this one today. That just means when you go to do this, try to switch which side you start on a daily basis. That way it all kind of evens out in the end eventually. 4, 3, you're working hard in both directions. 2, keep those tail feathers out behind you. 1, put that down. And let's lift slow, lower slow. Lift slowly, lower slowly with control. Good. Checking in with the rest of your body, making sure that we feel like we are aligned. Our hip is on top of the bottom hip. Our shoulders are stacked. Our ribs are connecting in towards our core. 2 more. And last one. Now listen to your body and take breaks when it's asking you to. We're going for 6 circles. Lift that leg and circle up. 6, 5, accenting up. 4, breathing. 3, 2, 1. Rest for a moment there. We're going to go back the other way for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Holy Hannah, that is hard. Bring your legs back into alignment. Bring this arm underneath you. Lift your body up, levitating from the strength of your serratus and your obliques. Levitate up out of that shoulder. You can just hold and breathe here, or add 8 pulses up. And 7, and 6, 5. Breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. All the way down. All right, let's take that off. And now let's get up with these incredibly warm hips and do a little cardio, because it's going to feel so good now that our hips are that warm. If you need a quick sip of water, go ahead and grab that before we meet over here. Okay, we're going to keep our cardio simple today because we got all salsa-y yesterday. And we're just going to go into simple little staccato jumping jacks. Pull in, soft shoulders. Corset zipping in and up. Keep breathing. So that's fine, nice and long. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now we're going opposition, up and out. Make them a little bigger. Keep those shoulders nice and soft. Good. And we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go front to back. You can take this slow, just stepping forward and back, or you can go with a switch. Good, like cross-country skiing. You can also keep it higher and make it quicker, just throwing those arms like hatchets. The more we move our arms, the more cardio we get. Focus on your breath. Whew. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for a moment. Big shoulder roll. Whew. Good job. Okay, we're going to step out to open, pull into balance. Out to open, pull into balance. 4, and in. 3, and in. 2, last 1, and switch other way. Step out and in. Step out and in. Big breath and balance. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're going to step back together. Back together. It's just a rock step. Back together. Big arm circles. Lift through your sternum. Nicely done. Good. Let the head move with it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Carnival, sink down and shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. How fast can you go? How low can you go? Keep those arms moving. Whew. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, just a little faster. 5, a little bit deeper. 4, breathing. 3, 2, 1, and done. Woo, marinate on that for a moment. Shake it out. Shake it all out. And there you have it. Holy smokes, I think it's Wednesday. Yes, it is. It is Wednesday of Boost Camp. Thanks, everybody. Well done. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out or stick around here after class. So good to see you all. Thanks for joining me.